Hey guys, Dr. Callahan here. Welcome to week 2, Thursday. 3 questions for your warm-up block. First question is favorite place to shop for clothing, electronics, etc. Question number 2, if you can change your first name, what will it be and why? And then question number 3, find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to point -2, -4, and -6, -8. So pause the video and go ahead and complete those 3 questions. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So if you're going to look for the equation, which is y equals mx plus b, you first need to find the slope, and you know your slope is perpendicular to these 2 points. So let's go ahead and find the slope first. So I'll have -8 plus 4, because minus -4 is going to be a plus 4, -6 minus -2, which is a plus. So you're going to have a -4 over -4, which is going to give you a positive 1. So then your slope, which is going to be perpendicular to the positive 1, you just kind of flip it over, so 1 over 1, but you put a negative to it. So this is going to be your slope. Now that I have my slope, I still need to find what b is. So pick a point that's easiest. I think the -2, -4 is smaller, so it might be a little bit easier. So y equals mx plus b. My y is a -4. My m that I just found is perpendicular is -1. X is -2 plus b. So -4 equals positive 2 plus b, which means my b is going to be equal to -6. Now that I have these 2 information, I could just fill out my equation, which is y is equal to negative x, or -1x, minus 6. And that is your line. That is perpendicular to these 2 points. All right, yesterday I had you guys go ahead and do the notes that we did, and you had some of the matching and the quizzes. So if you have that, that's great. Just hold on to that. So week 2, Thursday, this is the objective. Today we're going to talk about identifying, evaluating function notations, interpreting piecewise functions on a graph, and then talk about composite functions like fog and goth, like f of g of x and g of f of x. I do have a poster rotation that you guys are going to be working on. You'll see on the PowerPoint, so just work on those questions individually. There is a guided note template that follows along with it on week 2, Thursday, so just flip over to that part of your guided notes. We also have a calculus puzzle match, which is on graphing piecewise functions using a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, you're welcome to use desmos.com. I actually use that quite a bit. And then your homework tonight is to go ahead and do Math Excel for week 2, Thursday. Keep in mind that all your Math Excel is due on the Sunday by 11 p.m. Now, some of you guys have said that, you have some difficulty logging on to it, in which case, what I'm going to do is that for everybody's week 1 and week 2, if you're going to be completing it a little bit later, I would hope that you would definitely complete it by week 3, Sunday. You will not be given that 40% reduction just because I wasn't here for the first 2 weeks. So I think that's fair to do. Oh, hold on, baby. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So here's your guided notes. This is the poster rotation template. Obviously, you don't have a poster rotation, but you'll be able to see them on this document with this PowerPoint. There are 14 different rotations, and here are my notes for today's stuff as well. And then this is the graphing of the piecewise functions using your calculator. So all you have to do is take 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10, graph these piecewise functions. The instructions are right here, and then essentially match them to the graph here. And you just write your answer on the right side. All right, so let's go ahead and go over a few things. Here's your first poster rotation, number 1. You can pause the video. Here's your number 2. Let's take a look at number 3. I will go over this one with you guys. All right, for number 3, you have x squared minus x. X squared means that it's a parabola, minus x means you go down to 1, and then here is your parabola, okay? But you're not using the entire parabola. You have to look at the exclusions right there. The only part of the parabola you're going to be using is going to be at 0, so it's a closed dot because there's an equal sign there, so it's a less than or equal to 0. And you're only going to be using the left side of this parabola, which means you want to go ahead and erase the right side. Okay, next part, 2x minus 1. So that's a linear line. So start at 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And then you have this line right here. But again, you're not using the entire line. That's why it's called piecewise functions. You're using the line that is between 0. So it's an open circle at 0 because less than greater than is a open circle. Less than or equal to, greater or equal to is a closed circle. So keep that in mind. And 5, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go up of this line, closed circle. You're only going to be using this piece right here. So the remaining parts of this, you can just go ahead and erase. And the very last part is 3. So that's a horizontal line. 1, 2, 3. And again, you're not using the entire line. You're only using pieces of it. Which piece? At 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, open circle. And it's greater than, so you're going to be using the right side of this line. And then as such, we can go ahead and erase the rest. That is your, that is going to be your answer right here. Now, next it asks you for the domain and the range. If you look at the domain, this blue parabola is going to be continuing over to the negative infinity. On the right side, you have positive infinity because it's going to continuously go over to the right side with this red line. Then you want to look at the range. Range is up and down, okay? As I'm looking at this range right here, it is going to stop at -1. So I am going to put -1, but it is also going to be continuing to the right side or left side to negative infinity. And that is your answer. I'm going to have you guys do example 4 on your own. Let's go over example 5. Okay. With example 5, you have essentially f of x equals x minus 1. So you're going to put in the values here, and we're going to go ahead and graph this. You can see that there's an absolute value here, so absolute values are V-shaped. Okay, so when x is equal to 2, -2 minus 1 is going to give me a -3. But remember, because it's an absolute value, it has to be a positive 3. So my first point is -2, 3. Do the same thing with -1. You will get a positive 2. Next point is -1, 2. Then 0, which will give you positive 1. 1, which will give you a 0. 2, which will give you a 1. Now that I have these points, let's graph them. So -2, 1, 2, 3, that's my first point. -1, up 2, 0, up 1, 1, 0. Actually, hold on a second. That's not correct. 1, 0, and then 2, 1. There we go. You can kind of see the V-shaped already forming, and this is your absolute value. A quick way of doing this is, remember, y equals positive or negative a x minus h, and I should change that to absolute values here, plus k. Okay, this is the quick little version of it. The k is also going to determine whether this goes up and down. Positive k means you go up, negative k means you go down. So this is a review of Algebra 2 honors. Your h determines right or left. If it's a negative h, it is going to be going to the right. If it's a positive h, it will be determined to go to the left, okay? If it is a positive a, it will be facing upwards. If it's a negative a, it will be facing downwards. So looking at this original equation, here you have a -1, which means it's one step to the right. And if you look at your V-shaped absolute value, it is indeed one step over to the right. Maybe you can use that formula, apply it to rotation 6, rotation 7. Let's talk about composite functions. So f of 2. So this is saying when x equals 2, what is the y value? So x is at 1, 2. The y value is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer here is 4. Next question, f of -1. So when x is at -1, where is the y value? It's at -1. F of -3, 1, 1, 2, 3. When x is at -3, where is the y value? It is also at -3. So you guys try that one on your own for number 8. Let's take a look at number 9, f of 2. So going over to 1, 2, my answer is going to be at 3. At -1, this is kind of a tricky because you have a open circle, which means it's not included, and a closed circle. So at -1, you always use a closed circle, so that's at +1. F of 0, 1, 2, 3 will be at +3. You guys go ahead and give it a try for number 10. Let's take a look at number 11, f of 2, 1, 2. Again, it's an open circle, so you can't count this one. You want to use the one that has a closed circle, so that'll be a 3. F of 3, 1, 2, 3, it'll be right here, so that's also at 3. F of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't use the open circle, go all the way up to the closed circle, and that's at 1, 2, 3, 4. F of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see how this is an open circle? There's no closed circles, so you just put D and E, which does not exist. Let's take a look at number 12, okay? F of 2. So if it's f of 2, you have two choices. Do you use the top or the bottom? Well, because it's at 2, you want to use the one that is going to be greater than 2. So x is greater than 0, which means x equals anything bigger than 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So it would indeed be the bottom part. So your answer is just 2. F of -4. So f means we're going to be using the first function f, -4. So which one here includes anything that's in the negatives? It will be the top part because x is less than or equal to 0, which means you're including 0, but you're also including -1, -2, -3, all the way to -infinity. So your answer here would just be 3. F of 0, and again, you're still using the first function. Which one here includes 0? Given the fact that there is an equal sign on the bottom, it will be 3. And the last one, 1/2. So which one here will have 1/2? It will be the bottom part because x is greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, it also includes 1/4 and 1/2, 1/3, etc. So your answer here will be 2. You guys give 13 a try. Everything here is G, so you'll be using the second piecewise function. And do the same thing with post number 14. Make sure you guys complete this using a graphing calculator. All right, let's take a look at the exit ticket. This is one of the questions that was on your assignment. So it says find the equation of a tangent line, so y equals mx plus b, to the circle, x squared plus y squared equals 169. So this is going back to geometry. Remember, this is the one where you have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So if I go ahead and match this up, I can see that my h and k is going to be the center of the circle, and as such, my h and k is going to be at 0, 0, because there's no numbers behind the x and the y. However, my radius is going to be r squared, so I'm going to do r is equal to the square root of 169, which is going to give me 13. So as such, I'm going to go ahead and draw my circle. So I'm going to go up 13 to the up top to the radius, 13 to the right, 13 to the bottom, 13 to the left, and don't make fun of my circles because I know it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Hopefully it won't look like an inflated balloon. Okay. All right, so this is my circle. It says find the equation of the line tangent to the circle at point 5, 12. So at 5, 12, there is your tangent line. If you look at this, it looks like your tangent line is perpendicular to the center. So you have 0, 0, and 5, 12. So if I can go ahead and find the slope of this, my tangent line is going to be perpendicular to the slope of this purple line. So let's go ahead and do that. So what is the slope of this purple line? So slope is going to be equal to 12 minus 0 over 5 minus 0, which is 12 over 5. Now, the slope of my green line, which is tangent to this purple line, is going to be perpendicular. So my perpendicular slope is negative 5 over 12. Now that I have my slope, I need to figure out what my b value is. I have my point, so let's go ahead and do that. Y equals mx plus b. My y value is a 12, my slope is a negative 5 over 12, my x is a 5 plus b. Negative 25 over 12 plus b. B is equal to 12 over 1 plus 25 over 12. So let's go ahead and find our common denominator. 12, 144, which will give you 169 over 12. That is my b. So what is my equation to the green line? Y is equal to negative 5 over 12x plus 169 over 12. And that is your equation tangent. All right, you guys, that's basically it. Make sure you guys complete the assignment, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.